Hey everyone, I want to welcome you to Hutcast. Hutcast is a pragmatic approach to several things that happen in life and happen around us. So tune in, check us out. If you like us, give us a thumbs up to Hutcast. Today on Hutcast, cancel culture. What is it? We all have heard of it. We've all seen it. But are we seeing it now? Again, cancel culture is today's topic. I'm going to have one today, and it's going to be kind of a long episode. So kick back, relax, and we're going to dig into this cancel culture. For home and workplace comfort, we here at Dependable Heating and Air Conditioning have over 30 years of residential and commercial experience in replacing, repairing, and doing general maintenance on your heating and cooling equipment. Call the experts at Dependable Heating and Air Conditioning. For all your indoor comfort needs, we are located in Coon Rapids and serve the entire Twin Cities area. Call one of our professional technicians today at 763-757-5040. That's Dependable Heating and Cooling. Again, 763-757-5040, Dependable Heating and Air. All right, today we're going to start out with the definition of cancel culture. Cancel culture, or call-out culture, is a modern form of ostracism in which someone is thrust out of a social, professional circles, either online, social media, or in real world, or both. So let's pump the brakes there on that. If you're being ostracized by Twitter, by any form of social media, are you being canceled? Because the definition is pretty straightforward. I don't believe that our president is where this is all going, and cancel culture are too far apart. So what I'm going to talk about later is how this all started. Where, what, how, the whole blah of this cancel culture. First, let's start by talking a little bit about the history. What do we know about it? Well, everybody put on their memory caps, because how long ago were people deleting, destroying, and changing everything to do about our history, of our capital, of our country? Do you remember the topplings of the statues? Do you remember we can't have a rebel flag? Do you remember, even some of them are, we can't have our own flag because it offends them? Well, I'll tell you what, if you're offended by the flag in which is protecting your ass, well, I got a problem with that. So, cancel culture kind of goes there. It starts there. It started long ago, but we never said no to it. We just, okay, whatever, do your thing. We got things to do. We're busy. You want to jump up and down? How many here in Minneapolis? And I use Minneapolis as a guidepost. Remember Hiawatha or Nokomis renaming it? It was a big thing that people didn't want to be offended by the people that owned slaves. Well, we can't change that. We can't even begin to change that. So what are you offended about? I do get what you're saying. And I understand the point of these people did the wrong thing at the wrong time in history, but we're paying for it. And we really shouldn't be. So if you do remember them days, because I do, it was just like yesterday or like 6-8 months ago, these people were out there doing those acts, their opinion means more than yours. Kind of steps on free speech, doesn't it? Again, what did we do about it? We didn't do anything. We tried to appease these people. We didn't say, no, we're not changing our history to correct the narrative of your future. Kind of a thing for me. Free speech is one of the things I hold dearest to, next to 2A. Then we had to go from canceling our culture to everybody had to go LGBTQ acceptance. We had to enforce that. Hey, you know what? If you're LGBTQ, I don't care. Nor should anybody else. Your life is your life. That's why we have a red, white, and blue flag. If you want to do that, don't care. But as soon as you denounce it or don't want to be part of it, you become the xenophobe. You get attacked. Now, are we cancel culturing again? Because you wanted to introduce your culture? I don't know. You got to kind of think about things like that. Is cancel culture so far on the left that no one can think right or left anymore? They just think black and white sides, and if you're not on their side, you're the enemy? I don't know if we can do that, nor should we do that. So cancel culture, yeah, it's. I think it started so long ago by offending so many people, and we couldn't say no, so we say okay just to move on with our lives, and now here it is. Here we are. For instance, I'm not going to use names because this is pretty close to things in our area. I'm going to cite a local meeting, a local council meeting, where a parent came in and pleaded, begged, cried the local government to put an ordinance in place on the books to accept their family's members' sexual orientation. Now, again, I'm not going into who, what, and where, and how, but talking to these people firsthand, they wanted us to cancel our culture so their culture could be in place. And really, the request was denied. Why would you even begin to start a special thing for them when everybody's opinion matters? But this individual, this person, was so upset because they didn't do it. And if you listen local, we all, remember that council meeting. And I say kudos for the council, nor should they even begin to create or have some type of a divide that would be local level. And they didn't pass it. So they said everybody's equal. And if that ain't good enough for you, then okay, too bad. Brings me to my next segue. Being a man or a woman become incorrect language. Wait a minute here now. Woman? Man? Now they've got all kinds of in-betweens? We've got no one to blame because what did we say? We didn't say nothing. We did not say no, and I say we being a conservative, reasonably conservative, but I'm a liberal left as well, a little bit. So I like to ride the middle of the road and say, what makes sense? What is common sense? Man's a man, a woman's a woman. If they want to flip and change, who am I to stand in their way? But I do stand in their way when they say I should accept that. And I am, as long as you don't force me to accept it. So being a man or a woman in today's society, hey, dude, if you're not a man or a woman, you want to be a blender, be a blender. I don't care, and nor should you care enough to impact your beliefs on someone who don't believe the way you do. Here's where the problem starts. Shame on you. I don't care if you're gay. I don't care if you're lesbian. I don't care if you're homosexual. I don't give two craps about it. Neither does a lot of people I know. But we do care when you force it on us to accept your way. And we haven't denounced it. Maybe some people have. Maybe your life experiences have said, hey, these guys are doing this to me. Not here. Not me. Not most of us. What you do in the bedroom is your business. How you live is your business. That's the purpose of freedom. The freedom to choose your religion, your sexual preference, your whatever it is. Again, don't destroy ours for not believing it. I told my son once a long time ago, I says, I will respect the fact that you do whatever it is you do, as long as you respect the fact that I don't. And a lot of people have forgotten the respect that I don't. Not here, but in life in general. Don't make choices for me. Make your own choices. So that being said about that, I'm going to move on here. Okay. With this cancel culture, they use the cover of free speech, the First Amendment, against us to promote their agenda. Until the President of the United States, who also has a First Amendment rights, to call out their agenda and then use it against them. All right, so let me define this for you. In the name of the First Amendment, they want to choose how they are treated, how they are presented, how they're greeted, how they're whatever there is. But as soon as you invoke the First Amendment, you are now against them. How can that be? How can we have a dual standard? You wonder why there's trouble? Don't have a dual standard. Common sense ain't common enough. If you want to do what you do, again, don't force everyone else around it who don't want to do it. Jump up and down, cry, have a meeting, have a pissy fit, whatever you do, whatever your mental currency is to think that everyone should think like you is the problem. Here's that dual standard that we have now. The guys who have dual standards, rules apply to everyone. But the ones who need it the most, the guys who think that you have dual standards, the guys who flip and flop, the people who think you should be an LGBTQ, you should be a whatever it is. Why does your First Amendment rights trump mine or anyone else's? And again, shame on you if it does. I don't believe you have that power over anybody in this country. So you need to pump your brakes. Kind of like the people that came into the local city council meeting and decided that I'm special enough where I should have special things. And yours don't apply, so mine does. Well, I think that person had an education that day and realized that the Constitution's for everyone. Not just for her, not for her special purpose, not for anything different than anybody else. Okay, moving on. It's on everybody's radar. Let's have a conversation. Let's have a sit down about President's big tech. A retaliatory strike for posing sanctions in court on them. Big tech has a strike back. And this is what they did. They ditched him. You know this. It's all over the news. He was censored. With only 14 days left in his presidency, he's censored? Really? Really? And now they want to impeach him with 14 days left? Whose truck did you fall off of, and how hard did you hit your head? Do you really think in 14 days, again, a double impeachment? That sounds like to me that the left just wants to make another point. Again, canceling culture, destroying what time he has left. And if you don't see that, you're part of the problem. Why destroy him? He's done. He's out. He's over. And then why shut him up? Because he incited riots? Bull shenanigans. Bull shenanigans. Did he start a riot? I don't see it. A lot of people don't see it. And if he did start a riot in your mind, what about the other riots we had? Because I remember Minneapolis and a whole lot on fire. There's a whole lot on fire. And how many guys were shot there? Kind of makes you think that, doesn't it? How many guys were shot during the Minneapolis riots? Well, news is saying 4 people in the state capitol, or one got shot right in the face as this Air Force person, this gal who was 14 years in the Air Force, came through a window, popped right in the noodle, killed her. She was in the wrong spot at the wrong time? Okay. And what about all the other people in Minneapolis? Were they in the wrong spot at the wrong time? No National Guard deployed. They could see it ramping up. Waltz just sat on his fingers. Okay, well, we're going to do this with peace. We're going to set a standard. You don't set standards with animals. There is no standard. The standard is you're the lion or you're not the lion. And if you're the lion, everybody talks lion until it comes time to do lion stuff. Fry sat around, and one of his statements was, we've got the murder of George Floyd on tape. We see it, and he murdered, and he'll be dealt with that. Really? Did you really say that? You are judge, jury, and executioner right now in front of everybody? The whole world's watching this, and you put out the word murder? Well, I chalked up to being a mistake, because no mayor should ever be that stupid. You dance. You be careful what you say, because there are lives at stake here. Not just the one that got killed, but the ones that didn't do nothing. They sat around because they were his TO, his training officer. So now we get to have how does it go? 14 days left. Some people are saying that we have words to thought versus words to action. Now, words to thought. Trump used those. Words to thought. He said, support me. Come on down to the Capitol and you support my words to thought. But when the riots were on there, Minneapolis, all over the country, I don't even know other cities. I mean, I pay attention to them, but this one affects me the most because it's this is in my AO. Words to actions. When Fry said, this cop killed them, Derek killed them. Well, there's words to actions. And then the people started. And then the haters started kicking in. Burn this place down. Well, that's a word to action. That's a big-time word to actions. Not a words to thoughts. Everybody and their brother saying, burn it down. People need this release. They've been cooped up, and all of a sudden now they got a reason to fight? Burn down who? Burn down your neighborhood? Who does that? Who burns down their neighborhood because a cop did not preserve life? And again, a single cop, he's the TO. The other ones were newbies. They were barely on the force very long at all. There was 3 other guys standing around trying to keep people off him. Dual standards? Do you want to talk dual standards? Because there it is. And if I remember right, Trump never, ever, ever said, tear down this White House. Ever. But on the riots, we had senators outright say, we're coming for you, Trumpers. Back to actions for words or words for actions. Now, those words were actions to a lot of people. Trumpers, we're coming for you. Black Senator gal down south. And when she said that, I went, oh, man. Not that I'm a Trumper. Not that I'm a Dem. Not that I'm a Reb. I'm kind of a little of everything. Again, common sense makes more sense than just picking sides. The reason for politics is to understand one's position in the opponent's position and see if there's a compromise. Politics. So, moving on. These big tech gods will now choose who, what, when, and where they will now censor. Now, this is kind of a big one for me because I ran some pages out there and I'm if you put it out there and you post it, you're on your own. I'm not going to babysit someone hurt your feelings, who got your butt hurt, who has called you a name. I don't care. I'm the admin. I'm not moderator. You want to moderate yourself. Don't put me in that position of you being stupid and saying something. But big tech choosing sides? They're gonna figure out censorship? Oh boy. I need you to think of a couple of movies here. Big movie fan here, and I want you to think real hard. Hunger Games. Demolition Man. Any of those ring a bell to you? If you've watched the movie, if you've seen those, you're going to sit back and go, holy crap. Virus on top of this, on top of that. Government kicks in. They want to help you help yourself. Really? Just think of the Hunger Games when you think that big tech should have stepped in. Now, I've had struggle with this for a little while now, and someone says that the First Amendment doesn't apply to private individuals, to private companies. Why not? You hide behind the First Amendment to create your platform. You think that you have the right to do this, but we don't have the right within your right to do this? Think about it. We don't have the right within your right of the First Amendment to say what we want. Dual standards? Or is that culture cancel? I believe they're canceling our culture with that type of action. Words to thoughts, thoughts to actions. I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. Words to thoughts or words to actions. Now, that's a word to an action. They didn't like your words, they made an action on it. They didn't like Trump's word, they made an action on it. Wrong at every level. And everybody should be kind of on edge with this. The way that these big techs jumped in and did this. Who's Twitter? They're just a company. All right, so you want to use our First Amendment to protect you, but you don't want to protect our First Amendment while using you. And again, if you're on there for free and you've never really figured this out, how do they make their money? What's their bread and butter here? If you haven't figured that out, if you're on there for free, you are their inventory. You are their moneymaker, just by simply being on there and then pounding things at you. In another episode, I'm going to work on an algorithm in place that someone had brought me up to speed on, that a bot listens to your first 2 minutes of a podcast, of a whatever it is. And if it doesn't like what you have in the first 2 minutes, it's going to put you in the round file, or in a file that nobody sees you. They don't advertise for you. They don't push you the agenda. They don't do anything for you, even if you paid for it. So in upcoming events, I'm going to have the first 2 minutes, let's say 2.5 minutes, and I'm going to praise anybody that's a Democrat. I'm going to praise anybody that's just to try this experiment. And if my numbers triple, and I'll keep you posted on it, if my numbers triple, then that's a real algorithm. Now, don't get me wrong, the first 2 minutes are going to be BS. I'll start my actual show 3 minutes into it, and we'll talk about things that are of real consequence, not just, hey, we're going to do this, hey, Trump sucks, hey, Biden's the best. I don't believe that. I believe Biden has some things to put in. I believe Kamala has some things to put in, but I believe Trump had some things to put in as well. This is not a rhino speaking. I don't do that. But I do want to find out if we're being censored on a level that we can't begin to think this. And if we are being censored like that, okay, big tech God, here we go. Back to Demolition Man, back to Hunger Games. Kind of spooky, isn't it? Some people say I'm a conspiracy theorist. No, I don't believe in magic or coincidence. So if something happens, it usually happens for a reason. And I'm the guy who's going to point it out. All right, big tech, moving on. All right. Now a word from our sponsors. Today's sponsor in part by Excel Roofing. Excel Roofing, they do it all. Roofs, siding, framing. You need a house? Give Excel a call. I've used these guys personally in the past. Have a professional crew. They're conscious of your job, and they want to produce the finest quality of craftsmanship available. Excel Roofing, 763-712-0757. Again, 763-712-0757. Excel Roofing, Dayton, Minnesota. Okay, so also not censored, the content about the riots and pandemics. This misinformation, this information that went out that was not censored. They had their agenda, they pushed it, and we can't even have a president to talk. You know where this is going to lead, right? Because Trump's got the proxy and the narcissism to, we're going to start our own company. Then we're going to put them all out of business. And he's going to do that with half the votes in the country. Pretty big deal. Because he picked out a lot of names. He's on that task now. Because he's done with the presidency. And he's going to have some time on his hand. And he's looking for payback. And he's going to go out and he's going to start his own gig. And then what? Where are all the anti-Trumps going to be? Are the anti-Trumpers going to be on a system? Okay. Now, we've been warned time and time and time again. You've been warned. Maybe you haven't caught it. If you've ever been on Hatebook, on your account, and you see something that says, fact checkers checking into this, these guys. First of all, I call them speech Nazis. because they are going to decide what you can and can't see. I've been censored. I don't know if you've been censored. We mostly have all been censored, or we've been algorithmed away from seeing certain things that we should be seeing or that we should have as part of free speech. Now, if you've been censored and they don't like your content, you will be punished for it. And that punishment is you're off for 10 days, 7 days, 5 days. I don't even know. I've never been kicked off yet, but I'm sure the day's not over. How's that for free speech on a platform where the whole concept is about the free speech? That they use free speech died against, that you can't use free speech against them. Pretty real to me. Pretty holy cow. Makes you think, doesn't it? The only thing I can count on, the single most important thing that I can say, hey, out of all this, they're making laws, our lawmakers are protecting, now will be putting regulations on these big tech companies for tomorrow. Now let me define that for you. They, big tech, is going to say, okay, if we don't like a presidency, we're going to pinch you. You ain't going to be on, and we're going to put this law in place, and then it's going to lead to regulation. So now we all know the Democrats like to put regulation on because that's their thing. That's how they generate revenue. We're going to regulate a lot of things. They're going to regulate you. Think about the end will justify the means there. This is complete symmetry, my friends. They will put regulations on this, and then they will have to abide by their regulations. Unless the dual standard kicks in and you have to flash a badge. Hey, I'm the Democrat side, so you can't do this. Or I'm the socialist liberal side, so those rules don't apply to me. Or whatever their personal algorithm is going to be for a company that you can have free speech. Here's a ping for you. The ACLU has made a statement about what happened with that censorship, which I call cancel culture. They don't want to hear Trump, so they just want to cancel him. To the president's accounts, they shut him off. Now, the ACLU is a little lit up here because today it's Trump. Tomorrow it's African Americans. Now we're going to talk Native Americans. Now, who are we doing next? Does Nazi Germany ring a bell? Does the Jewish population, are you okay with this? Because I don't think if everybody studies their history are going to sit down and take this sitting down. Now you know what the Second Amendment's for. So, in a nutshell, the most powerful man in the country, the most powerful man in the world, planet, by them censoring him, is going to have consequences for lifetimes to come. Think about it. Lifetimes. Demolition Man, ring a bell. Lifetimes. You ain't gonna back that clock up. You cannot undo this. You need to undo this now. And the Dems, they're going to have a thing. You know, they control everything right now. Well, okay, so we got voted out. Moving on. But eventually, the Dems are going to fight within the Dems. It's a known fact. If all the Republicans there, they'd fight within Republicans because now you got sides within the side. This is your dangerous moves. These are dangerous moves, according to ACLU. The First Amendment protected culture. But what are we going to do with that? You cannot censor a sitting president. I don't care if he's got 5 minutes left. Now you just tripped his ego. Here we go. Now we're going to have things to deal with. So big warnings here. This is more dangerous than you will ever know, than I will ever know. And there's a lot of people, including Pelosi, will not let a good crisis go to waste. If you've ever heard that, I thought the other day, and I thought, that sure makes sense. We won't let a good crisis go to waste, so we're going to use it in our arsenal of tricks so that we can give them tolerance and forgiveness and weakness. And with that tolerance and weakness, You ever wonder why China just announced to the world that they're moving forward on the nuke program? They're moving forward on the nuke program. A, we got pretty much civil unrest in our country. B, you don't see anything from the news coming out of their country that everybody's fighting and everybody's killing everybody and they're burning places down and they're not closed. So their stores are open, their venues are open. And this is where this started from, this flu, this COVID. And these guys are system normal. Got to make you think on that. They're system normal and we're locking down and we're fighting with them amongst ourselves. If I was an opposing country and I could smell weakness and you wanted to move forward with something like that, I guess that would be the time to do it. And all this from cancel culture? That's my opinion, of course. You might have a different opinion, and I'm okay with that because our flag, our country, our Constitution says we can have differences of opinion. We can agree to disagree. I don't have to accept yours. You do not have to accept mine. But somewhere in the middle, we have to meet. And if you stop meeting in the middle, you are the problem. You are not the fix. You can't fix something who doesn't engage. So, back to Trump's deal. Although I do know that Trump didn't know how to keep his mouth and his tweets under control at a lot of times, again with his narcissistic tendencies, the rest of the world knew not to mess with us. China ain't stirring crap up. You got the Middle East not stirring stuff up. And I know it made me sleep better. So with Trump at the controls, and he's an old bull guy, you mess with me, you're going to get the horn. That made me sleep a lot better. As it should you. Now, historically, we have democratic everything. And if you look back, a lot of the wars started with democratic people in charge. Well, we're on that page. Because if Ung Jung Jung decides to spin things up, you're going to have how many people that are caring and forgiving and tolerance people. We're not going to fight back. Well, let's use our governor and our mayor. Let's do that. Hey, he just shot at us. Well, we're going to use love and peace to fix him. Well, that don't go that far. Do unto others as others do to you. So if they're going to nuke you, here we go. Here we go again. So, fixing this, moving on. Fixing this, and this is a big one. First, I wanted to define diplomacy here. I believe that cancel culture is a big factor in this whole political crap sandwich. We are now all in. Diplomacy. It is a noun. In the Google Dictionary, look it up. The activities associated with the governance of a country or an other area, especially the debate or conflicting among individuals or parties having hope to achieve power. Government, local government affairs, state of affairs, public affairs, and diplomacy party policies. The activities of a government concerning the political relations between countries. Not my definition. It's in Googleize it. Use the Googleizer and check it out because it's pretty much right there in front of you. So that tells you a lot. The academic study of a government and its state. We as a country never had political activities during canceling of history. Let me define that. We rule by dictatorship, or we rule by governance, or we rule by policy. So again, let me explain what that means. When they tore down statues, when they wanted to re-cancel our culture and call it something else, when they wanted to do something, we were pushed into it. We accepted it, and we just did it. We did it. It's not Tacomas anymore. It's something else, or whatever you have in your mind that is canceled something out. They ripped down the statues. Well, they ripped them down. They ripped down our statues in the South because it meant something to them, it being up. Again, I don't know. And they never got pinched for it? They tore down statues. They desecrated, which is a law. It's on the books. If you desecrate anything with historic value, it's illegal. It's a federal law, not a state law. But some Air Force gal who jumped into the house in Washington gets shot in the face because she came through a window? Are we talking dual standards again? Lawmakers had these laws on the books to prosecute these individuals, but did not. They said, "Oh, it's in the interest of things being fair. We're not going to prosecute them." Political correctness, is that what we're talking about now? So we're not going to prosecute because of political correctness? Hold on, people. I don't like the sounds of that. And again, most of the world said, no, we're not engaging. Hold on. Dual standard. So we're going to cancel our culture because it offends you. It offends somebody. Everything offends everybody. You are not going to get through this life and not offend somebody. I don't care what you do. Someone's not going to like you or what you do. And you know what? What I say is, your opinion of me is not my business. If you have a problem, that's your problem. Because I don't have a problem with me. I don't have a problem with statues. I was not oppressed. You were not oppressed. Actions to words, words to actions. Remember that. That's a big thing. Okay. No action was taken. Okay, so, and you wonder why we are here today. Why are we in this crap sandwich? Because we kept allowing someone to change the narrative in which God, time, and everything else has made for us. I can't change yesterday. You can't change yesterday. You're gonna cancel it so because you don't like the idea of it? Well, a lot of things I don't like the idea of in the past. Does it make your way right? Does it make your way just? The ends justify the means. So I'm gonna hide it. I'm gonna cancel it. Therefore, it don't exist. Nope. So now we get to the point where we're here. And this is a personal opinion. There's no textbook I can look in. You can't look it up. Here's how I see one of the solutions is. Solution number one. It's an easy one. We're starting with one. Stop playing the victim. Start listening to what's going on with both sides. Don't let anyone divide your thinking, i.e. Hatebook, i.e. Twitter, i.e. anybody else who has a platform. Can you trust the news? You can't. You can't trust either side of the news because on the Dem side, they're saying one thing. On the Rub side, they're saying another. So you kind of fit between the lines. Even though it's really easy to pick a side, to play the victim, it's really easy to let someone tell you, because you don't have to get off your ass and do something, to play that victim. Don't do it. Don't let someone let you play the victim. And if someone around you says you're playing the victim, tell them to help you. Help me not play this victim. Next thing. Here's a really big one. Here's a really big one. Stop allowing someone to make you believe your opinion, your feelings come second to theirs. In definition, I don't believe in ice cream. Well, the guy down the street does. And the guy who sells ice cream says you should believe in ice cream. So he pressures you. He pressures you into believing in ice cream, even though you know you don't like ice cream. It's not their fault that they want you to believe in ice cream. And again, this is fictitious. This is just kind of this, for instance. Do you know whose fault it is? It's your fault. It is your fault for not standing up for yourself in your beliefs. Had an episode a while back, says fix your own problems. Key right here. This is a key factor. Stop allowing someone make you believe your opinion is less. That's kind of a big one for me. All right, next one. Disregard all the hyperbole that the others say is out there against your way of thinking. It's your responsibility to invest time, invest the allegations that undermine your core beliefs. Don't take the easy way out and let the news, social media sway your opinions. It's their job to do that. They're getting paid to do that. Hey, we're going to take the money and run. Figure it out yourself. Take the time. If you want to spew information, then you should have information. All right, next up. Understand that because you don't see it doesn't make it gone from history. We as a species cannot ever erase time. We must live in the confines in which we and our forefathers have set for us, i.e. the Constitution of the United States. And the laws they're within. If you're not okay with our laws, then find another country to be a part of. Go try communism. Go try laws someplace else. I don't know, it's your free will. We don't care if you leave. You get to play, but not with mine. You can't do that with my freedom. You don't get that. You don't get that luxury, and I will not allow it. All right. That kind of sums up that one. Okay, another big one here. Do not assume your agenda is mine. I will not assume mine is yours. Way too many people believe that their agenda, their responsibility to convert their agenda to yours, and vice versa. I don't believe in that. However, this does bring some religious undertones. Here's why. Because for centuries, most religions have somewhat in their teachings to spread the word of their Bible. Now, you might not be a religious person, but most Bibles, most Qurans, most whatever your religion is, has teach your neighbor, teach them the light, show them what's going on. So that kind of carries over from what you were taught or what the demeanor of people are. Jehovah's Witnesses, hey, I'm going to convert you to this. Christians, I'm going to convert you to this. Catholics, Jewish, hey, you want to convert? Aha, whatever that is, that's ingrained in us. That's difficult to overcome. And it carries over into our government. It really does. You can't get away from it. And all I can say about that is, holy cow. No pun intended. We can't stop that. But you got to be aware of it. Someone's got to tell you, if you want to spread the word of Jesus, then keep doing it. It's your Bible right, and it's the Pentecostals, the whatevers. Stop doing it. Again, I'll respect yours that you do if you respect mine because I don't. Okay, moving on. Let's let people common sense back in America's thinking. Let's put common sense back in. It's kind of the end of the show here now, and I really, really want you to think about the other guy. We're all too busy judging, punishing, ridiculing, and canceling everyone else's way of thinking. And if they don't think like us, we destroy that. By destroying that, in reality, you're destroying yourself. You don't know it, you don't see it yet. It will destroy you. So, personally, I really try and stay out of that arena. I'm guilty of it as well. I'm not calling the kettle black here. Sometimes you got to think, you ain't doing this right. And yeah. So let's not let's be aware of that. Okay, that's it for our show. Big show today. It's going to be kind of like an emergency show. I've already released one on the 8th. I'm going to release this one real soon just because it's a current event deal and you don't have time in between to, you can't wait that week to, let's hear it now. Sometimes it's got to be brought out in the future. So we're going to do that way ahead of time. And you'll see a double entry in the Hutcast. Again, tell your friends, put a thumbs up. Hutcast. Wherever you get your podcasts from, we'll be there. Thanks, everybody. I wish you the best, and I hope we got something out of today's episode. Bye-bye. And that's a wrap for Hutcast. Hutcast is, again, a pragmatic approach to seeing things how some people see them. If you like our show, give us a thumbs up on the Facebook site or on the website that's just about ready to roll. Hopefully by the first of the next year, we'll have this thing up and running where you can get all the backstory and some of the research we did provided these podcasts /IE Hutcast. Again, for Hutcast, thank you again. Have a wonderful evening.